Hello everyone, it's the Soulful Stitcher. If you have been watching my channel for a while, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. Um, let's see here. I've been stitching for quite some time. I first learned how to stitch when my son was 4, and as of February 26th, he is going to be 23. So I've been stitching for quite some time. So we're just going to kind of get into it. It's Sunday and I have some family things to do, so I can't be lollygagging. So one of the things that I do want to do though is give a couple shout outs. One of the things about me is I really love people who are transparent, and when they make their Flosstube video, they stay true to themselves. They don't change just to get likes, or they don't change just to get subscribers. And several people that stand out to me is one, I want to give a shout out to Michelle Cozy Egg. Her talent, is absolutely ridiculous. It's amazing how she just took houses from different patterns and basically constructed a village. And I was really excited to do it, but then when I talked to her, she didn't have really a laid out plan. It was just something that came to her, something that she wanted to do, and she put it together. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, that's not for me. So I'm not going to do that. And I just love the fact that, she will, like the rest of us, get excited about sales, or she'll get excited about groups, but she's not afraid to say after a while whether the sal or whether the group or whether the stitch along or whatever, that's sal, right? Yeah, so I'm saying the same thing, is basically for her. And then the next person I want to give a shout out to is Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop. She'll probably never see this video. She doesn't even know who I am. But one of the things that I love about Kimberly is it seems to be some type of stigma in the stitching community that if for some reason, if you stitch on Ada or something, that your stitching is not genuine, or your stitching is not as good as those of us who stitch on linen. And I think that's just absolutely absurd and absolutely false. And I love the way Kimberly takes her Flosstube video, and she's just like overly ecstatic about stitching on linen. I mean, stitching on Ada. And she's not afraid to say it. She's not afraid to show her work. She's not afraid to be equally happy about stitching on Ada, just like those of us who stitch on linen. And the other thing that I love about her too is she's transparent and real enough to say if she doesn't know anything, if she doesn't know something, not anything, but if she doesn't know something, she's not afraid to admit that she doesn't know it, even though she is a shop owner and a business owner. And I love her vibe. Just, she's really positive. She's really energetic. She's really, smiling, and she's not doing it for subscribers. Like, you can tell that if you hung around her or went to her house, that genuinely is how she is. And I just love that about her. And then the other person I want to give a shout out to, well, there's two more, is Amy Toad. Amy loves toads. You know that. She, again, is real transparent. She doesn't try to do things for likes. She admits, when her puppy, I believe it was her dog that passed away, she wasn't ashamed to say, that she just wasn't feeling, making a Flosstube at that time, and was really going through different things. And also, she's not afraid to admit that she's, technical challenged, that, her and technology don't get along, and so, get along well, excuse me. So, just for her and Kimberly and Michelle to just be able to be transparent and not do things just to get likes or just to get subscribers, I just love that. And what brought it up was I was watching another floss tuber, and she had like a throat irritation or something. And she was more concerned about people not watching her video because she was drinking than taking care of her throat. And I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to be different to get people to watch my floss tube. I'm not going to be different to get, people to subscribe. Not doing it, dude. It's really not that deep. I do it for fun. If I want to do it, I will. If there's times that I don't do it, I won't, and that's just pretty much what it is. Then the other person I'd like to give a shout out to is Caroline McNeil from Friday Off the Grid, and she also does bags, but she does a podcast, Fiber Talks, Um, and she's great too. I really felt privileged, I guess, in a way that she actually joined Soulful Stitching, and she's really engaged in it. And her and I got an opportunity to talk and kind of, just go back and forth. So her and I are going to be doing the the Santa's Village Sal, and I'll show you, my progress or where I'm at with it when I get into whips. So if you would like to stitch along, you can join us. The hashtag for that is going to be Soulful Off the Grid Fried Santa Sal, or fried, because it's Friday. It's short for Friday. Santa Sal. So hopefully you guys, some of you will join us in that. And we have made the deadline to have it stitched by Christmas of next year, and I like that too. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on us. She has things that she does, teaches music and has a family and different things, and I have my own things going on. I have my family and I work full time. So I love the fact that we didn't put any type of unrealistic pressure on one another to get it done, or any type of time constraint, so to speak. So with that being said, the last people that I want to give a shout out to is Sunshine Stitchers, EJ, Gary, and Sharon. They have been, really talking about the group, have been talking about me, and has driven like a lot of people to come to the group. And one of the things that I read before I approve a person is the fact that the people who want to join have heard that the group is really drama free, and that it's really laid back, real respectful, and a really comfortable environment. But one of the things that I do have to do is give credit to the members, because it wouldn't be that way, if the people that I allowed in weren't mature adults. I've only had to, remove, I think, one or two people, and that's for the most part, it's just been a great. And so I just want to thank EJ and Gary and Sharon for giving me shout outs and pointing people to the group. And so far the new members have turned out to be great too. Just no issues, and I really love that, because you guys know sometimes I'm up and down, with participation. Like sometimes I'll be heavy into the group, and sometimes I kind of fade to the back because I have my own stuff. And it's just great to know that I'm not getting private messages because people are just really being ridiculous and disrespectful. So, the credit needs to go where it belongs, and that's to the members in the group. So with that being said, it is November 17th, because The Crown season 3 comes on today, and I'm watching it. But for for today, I actually have a finish. It wasn't done today. I just haven't shown it since the last time I did a Flosstube, or even before that, and that was Always and Forever by Little House Needleworks. I did this on 45 count ivory linen, and I used a specialty thread called Tudor Silk, and it was I forget what the color, the name of the color was. And then I don't remember if I showed you guys. I paid to have these little tags made, and so I just ironed them on. I just wanted to do that instead of stitching my initials in it. The name Social Stitcher means a lot to me, so I want to kind of use that as much as I can, and hopefully I can work on getting it trademarked one day. It takes a lot of work to make that come to fruition, so I don't know if it'll happen or not. And I will have another finish too, but I'm not going to tell you that until the time comes. So, woo! Now, are you ready for this? This is whips. And what I've done, instead of doing whips and then haul, I'm doing it all together. So I will tell you which one is whip, which one is a haul. So strap in, because this is going to be a hot minute. Okay, here we go. So the first one that I will show you is the one that I just talked about, which was by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I think I said Little House Needleworks. And if I did, I'm wrong. It's by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is my progress on it. And I am using 32 count mocha vintage linen. And this is where I am at on it. And I have a whole bunch of fabric here, because I had started this and I actually had to restart it because I had started stitching it originally the wrong way and would have run out of room. So I had to repurchase the fabric and make sure that it's being stitched the correct way. Now, Caroline said that she wasn't going to put the buttons on hers, and I am. My wife actually got me this set for Christmas maybe 2-3 years ago, and so she was so sweet and bought me the buttons that went with, or embellishment buttons, however you want to say it. She bought me all 12 patterns, bought me all the embellishments that go with it, so I'm definitely going to put those on it. And then this one has been a lot of hype here lately. And I thought it was really interesting, so I went ahead and purchased it. Apparently there is like some villain set of patterns out. And I watched McKenna's video. And because I watched her video, I wanted to purchase this as well, which happens to be the Red Queen. Okay. Now, unlike everybody else, however, I did not purchase the box. And it's because I didn't want to. First of all, some of the stuff in the box I knew that I would not end up using. And I don't know, it just didn't really appeal to me. One state of mind that I'm in here recently, and this is because of Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. Hi, Julie. I don't feel like waiting for stuff to come in the mail. I really don't. Like, I don't want to wait for specialty floss to come in the mail. I don't want to wait for patterns to come in the mail. So I've been doing a lot of PDFing, for real. And so, because I watched some unboxing videos before I thought about watching it, I watched McKenna's, I watched Diana in Kismet Stitches. However, she's not doing the Red Queen. She's doing someone else. And I can't remember the other person. And the box just didn't appeal to me, which is nothing wrong with it. It is probably great for other people, but it just didn't appeal to me. And I wanted to just purchase things separately and kind of do things my way. So I know you get some embellishments with it and some different things. So, but one thing that McKenna did suggest that I think I'm going to follow, if I can't make this work, is she was talking about how she's not going to use the DMC metallic, that she's actually going to get the Petite Treasure braid. And I probably will follow her on that much, but I'm hoping I can make the DMC work. So one of the things that I did realize though that came in the box that I will need is red beading thread. And so what I did was got this beading thread off of Amazon. It's a Japanese beading thread. Really nice. I felt it and felt really good. It's very thin, so it's not going to make attaching things to the fabric real bulky and ridiculous looking. So I like that. And then I did, however, go ahead and get the DMC called Metallics, which this is the 3685, the dark mauve. And then I got the E436, which is the brown, but I didn't get the black. And I didn't get the black because I had already had DMC, the Diamante floss. Is that upside down? Yes, that is upside down. So I wasn't going to turn around and purchase black again. So, we'll see how it goes. And I didn't really get too far. This is where I'm at right now. Yep, that's where I'm at. But I'm going to work on this a little bit later. And this is, honey, you know that bag of fabric that you just had of mine? Can you hand it to me, please? Right there. Thank you. So back in the day when I was a young stitcher and really didn't know any better, I turned around and bought a yard of this, which is 28 count vintage smoky white. And lo and behold, did I know that it really was going to come in handy in the future, because there are several projects that this particular fabric looks absolutely amazing with. So one of them that I'm using it for is the Red Queen. Okay. So there's that. Then the next, and so like I said, I'm showing you whip and haul together. So that's whip / haul. Then the next one that I'm doing is the John Clayton Elegance series, but I am doing Isla. Isn't she beautiful? All those blues are going to just be absolutely gorgeous. And I'm actually going to change the skin tone for her to be a woman of color. And this is where I'm at. And I'm actually doing her on 18 count Ada. And it's oatmeal. And this is how far I've gotten so far, though. I've only gotten this much done right here. So not a whole lot, but I'm definitely going to work on it, because that's another thing that has changed for me too. I don't know if it's because I had to get my medicine changed or whatever, just for different things. I'm in this mode of not only do I want to start a lot of stuff, but I actually want to finish stuff. So every single whip that I'm about to show you are ones that I really do plan on finishing in 2020. Like, I have the urge to start, but I also have a greater urge to finish. And every single one that I pick up gives me great joy to do. So far, I have not found one that's like, do I really have to work on this right now? So I'm really happy about that. And my wife is too, because she's sick and tired of seeing stuff that I'm not finished. She loves me and everything, but it's like, dude, can I just get it finished? So I gave her 2 finishes this year, so she can't say nothing. All right. So the next one is watching Nicole's needlework, but her real name is Nicole. She is one that does a lot of samplers. I think every single one that she stitches is samplers. And she not only stitches the samplers, but she gets like the silks and stuff to go with it. And she encouraged me, because I'm one of those straight and narrow stitchers. I follow the pattern. I try to follow the specific floss. I hate to get away from what the pattern calls for. So I'm one of your boring stitchers. I'm just like straight and narrow. That's it. And but got this one when I went to the local needle workshop a long time ago, and I'm really excited to try this. But to get out of the box, so to speak, I'm going to use Victorian motto threads for this. I only have one color picked right now, so I got to go back later on and find the other equivalents, you could say. And that is this one by Needleworkers. No, wait a minute. Excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. By Brenda Gervais, and it is the Needleworkers Sampler. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Yep. So I'm going to try that. And that is an actual haul because I have not started it. I'm doing it on the fabric. But one of the colors that I did pick out so far is 815 Victorian motto thread. And that's a piece of haul that you guys won't see because my box will be here on Tuesday. I know that a lot of us don't really care for using DMC when we are stitching with white. So what I decided was to give Nancy a buzz, which is email, and I asked her to send me several skeins of white Victorian motto thread, and she had two types, like a bluish white or a tannish white, and I went with the bluish white, not thinking about that one because most of the projects that I'm going to be stitching on, they're for snowflakes and they're for clouds and stuff. But if nothing else, I can always reach out to her and get tannish white if that's what's going to work with that one. Okay, so this particular pattern right here doesn't have a cover, so I had to take a picture of it on my cell phone just to show you guys a picture. And I just wish that some of these Etsy designers would really take in consideration to create covers to go with these patterns, you know, because it's like ridiculous that they don't have covers, you know, for the patterns. So here is what this, if you heard that snore, that's our American Bulldog. Somewhere he has a job. I'm not sure. But this is what the pattern looks like, and it's called Winter 1. So that is a piece of haul because I have not officially started that yet. And it's just specifically charted for DMC. So as you can see, the charts in there. And so that's going to be a lot of fun too. Now this next one also is a little bit challenging, not because of the actual stitching, but because the lettering. I don't really care for the lettering, so I need to find a different font if you want to call that what it is, so I can do it. And this is by Pineberry Lane, and I've had this for a while, but like I told you, Nicole is encouraging me to do samplers, and so this is what it looks like. And this is the fabric that I'm doing. And so the problem is, like I told you, I really don't care for the font. So now I have to go back and find a font that I really like. And I have to really chart it out to make sure it all fits. And that's going to be really challenging for me because that's not something that I really do. However, Michelle Cozy Egg gave me some really good tips on what I can do. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And let's see. Let me show you the fabric that I'm doing it on. I called myself coffee dyeing it. It was somewhat dark, and I coffee dyed it. And so, and see, it looks lighter to you guys than it really is. And this is like a part of a letter that I'm trying just to see. But I think I'm going to just, so I'm not trying it on this, frogging it, and messing up the holes and stuff. I think I'm just going to get a scrap piece of fabric and try it that way. And just find out what works for me and what doesn't. So next, what we have, oh, it goes in that, I'll fix that, is Magic Winter. And this is from Stitches Through the Years. And this was a difficult one too. My wife was sorry about the ums. Nope, I'm not apologizing. Not sorry about them. My wife was really, really nice and sat down with me and helped me figure out the colors, because when you looked at the DMC equivalents that she suggested, they weren't going to work for me. So I was struggling with trying to come up with colors that really were going to fit, because I did like the soft tone. And my wife and I are opposite, because she's the bright one. Like, she likes neon stuff. She'll work a neon green in a minute in the summertime. Not me. I like black is my favorite color. Silver is my favorite color. So she was like, you know, you got to think outside the box. You got to brighten it up a little bit. And she literally sat down with me and helped me come up with colors that are going to work great for this. So I'm really excited to stitch this too, and it's going to be in honor of her, because of the fact that she really, you know, helped me get it going. Because I literally, like, I was struggling with this for like a week or so, and that is what you would consider haul, because I have not put one stitch in it, and I'm doing it on platinum fabric. Okay. So then next, what we have, I'm going to actually put them down there, is Winter Warmth. And this is considered a haul because I have not stitched it. And this is by Little Dove Designs. And again, my PDF thing. I'm loving PDF. Loving PDFs right now. Because I don't want to wait for stuff in the mail, dude. I don't really know how to put it any plainer than that. I just don't want to wait for stuff in the mail. And this is, and I did do a little, until I'm wrong, I did do a little start on this. And this is 28 count even weave that I dyed myself. Just a light blue. I just put very little blue dye in there. So it's going to kind of give you that sky blue snowy day feel. And again, that one's just charted for regular DMC. Okay, next we have Michelle Bindi. I have to thank for this, because she showed this and it was over. I literally was like ordering it like 5 minutes after I watched her do it. And this is a Barbara Anna one, and this is coming from Creative Poppy, and this is called The Wicked Plant. All Hallows Eve. And charted in DMC. And this is where I'm at on it. And I'm stitching it over one on 28 count oatmeal. And I don't know the type of I know it's linen, but I don't know what the type of oatmeal linen this is. It feels different than anything that I've used before, but I actually like stitching on it. And I believe I got it from Crazy Annie's. I believe I did. So next, this is coming from the Sunshine Stitchers. They have a sal with this one. This particular pattern is by Rosewood Manor, and it is called Autumn Quakers. And I am not doing that one in DMC. I actually did purchase the Voldani threads to go with it. And let me tell you something about these little bad boys, though. So I go to the mailbox to, because you can watch the tracking. And I'm excited because I'm thinking, like, oh my goodness, I'm about to get busy with getting this stitched and all excited. I open up the mailbox and I see this little package in there. I'm like, oh my gosh, great. They forgot my threads. I open up the envelope and this little thing was in there, and I was thinking that the Voldani threads were pretty big, especially for that price. And I was just like, are, are these really going to get the whole thing done? But then when I started stitching with them, I was like, that's the reason why they cost as much as they do. So I'm going to also participate in the winter one that they have coming up on December 21st. And that is the winter Quaker sampler. And I'm actually going to purchase the Voldani threads with them. And I am stitching this over one on 28 count antique white even weave. Okay. Okay, next up. This is not haul. This is just strictly a whip. And you know who she is. It's my girl. Where are you? Celtic Winter by Lavender and Lace. Now, this was another one that I had to start over because of the fact that I had to frog one time and I frogged too much and actually cut the fabric. So I had to get a new piece of fabric and start all over. And this is where I am at now. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 Bonnie Blue linen. And I actually did have to get creative and change this middle section in here. That's really not what it calls for, but that's, what I thought would fit and just look better. They had an idea, in my opinion, that once I was going to put the beads on, that it just looked real bulky and I wasn't feeling it. So I kind of charted it for something else, which is turning out to work, really great. Then next is another one that I got from Etsy, and the designer did not put a cover with it. So this is what the cover of the pattern looks like. Let me try to make this as big as I can. You guys can see my fan in the... Okay, there we go. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And again, that one just calls for DMC as well. And so, quick glance, and then the DMC. And I actually just went today and got the DMC for that. The next one, this is not haul. That one was haul, not a whip, because I haven't officially started it. This is not haul. This was something that I've had in my stash for quite some time. And one of the sales that we have coming up next year is Magazine March. And so this is coming from Cross Stitcher, February 2013. And I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to butcher it. But here's the title of it. And if you know how to speak French, you're more than welcome. But this is exactly what the design is. I love that. And this specifically calls for DMC too. And this is the fabric that I'm doing it on. And this is a silk weaver's fabric. When we found out that my mother-in-law had breast cancer, Danielle Stitcherista had sent her some goodies. Just really kind of her. And then along with sending my mother-in-law goodies, she sent me 5 cuts of fabric. Really nice. And this is one of them. And I think this is very appropriate and just very perfect for that design. And that's how far I've gotten. And so I'm stitching this over 1 on 28 Lugana. And that's the other thing I like about Amy Toads too, is because her and I both really love stitching on very small counts, and we love stitching over 1. Now, the one thing I haven't done yet, which I want to try, is try 1 over 1 on 40 count. But I don't know, you know, if I'm going to. Now, this other one is not haul either. This is something that I've had in my stash, which everybody's familiar with it, which is Lila Studios, and it is Let Freedom Ring. I got the urge to get that one back out. And I'm actually stitching this on 56 count ivory, and this is where I've gotten so far. And I did get all of the recommended threads for this. So you have some DMC, you have some shaker, and I believe you may even have a Weeks in there, but I could be wrong. But I know for a fact it's DMC and Simply Shaker. Okay. The next piece of this is haul / whip, and this is another one where the designer did not create a cover page for it. So what I had to do was go on the Etsy website and just take a picture of her stitch piece, just to kind of use as a cover. So what I'm getting ready to show you, I did not stitch. This is just something that I saw from the designer. Just give me 1 second as I find the picture. And it's called 12 Cottages. And it's really really cute. So with this, while I'm looking for the picture, I can tell you something. You can either buy the whole entire pattern and get all 12 cottages together, or she gives you the option of just purchasing the cottages of the month that you want. So, okay, here it is. So, that's what that looks like. So I just had to go and just, you know, get a picture of that just to kind of show you guys what it is. And this is where I'm at. Oh, and that just calls for regular DMC. And that's how far I've gotten. I'm on the month of January, because what I did was I did go ahead and purchase the whole 12 houses. And this is the one that I kind of want to wait to get the Victorian motto white thread. I want to see if it just does better than the DMC. The next pattern I got from Etsy is this one, and it's called Geometric Cross Stitch Pattern. Let's see, yeah. This is beautiful too. And this is haul. I'm going to end up stitching that on white. Maybe not, maybe not. And these are the called for threads, just DMCs. I mean, just look at those blues, just beautiful. And you guys might be able to hear a TV in the background, and that's my mother-in-law watching movies or something. Not really sure what's going on with the volume, but we'll just have to roll with it for now. The next one that I got, I really love too, and my wife is so freaking funny. So I purchased this pattern, and this is by Country Cottage Needlework, and it's called Happy Holiday. And it has, you can't, well, maybe if I put it closer, you can see. Yeah, it has black and white and some green and brown. And she saw the pattern. She was like, what is this? We don't do Happy Holidays. We say Merry Christmas. And I was like, babe, I know that, but I like the pattern, so I got it. So this is how far I've gotten it. And this is kind of as close to the color of fabric that was shown in the picture that I could get. And again, this is 28 count, and I'm stitching it over 1. Okay. And then next, what we have showed you that one. Oh, this one doesn't have a picture either. This is not haul. This is not a whip. This is just something that's been sitting in my stash that I've wanted to stitch. And I just have to show it to you really quick. Boom. Okay. It's basically just a bride in her wedding dress. And I'm going to stitch it using this color. And this is a stitchy box. Silk Weavers, band wire, 40 count. And I'm going to use the Victorian Motto thread white. And she is going to be a woman of color as well. Next, what we have. Let's see what this is. Okay. This is a calendar series called Shabby Autumn Calendar by Corey. All right. And again, hers is just calling for DMC. And I'm doing this on a tea and coffee dyed 28 count even weave. And of course, you already know I'm stitching it over 1. And this is how far I've gotten so far. Not much at all. Okay. Next up, another one, PDF that I really enjoy, all DMC, and this is called Autumn Glows, and it's by Little Dove Designs, and this is a haul. I have not started on it at all, and I'm using that cut from Annie's, the 28 count oatmeal. And I'm going to, of course, stitch that over 1. Next up, we have Winterland. And I just got the DMC equivalent for that. This is a piece of haul. And I didn't start it. Don't even have the fabric picked out for it yet. Next up is another one by her, by Stitchers Through the Years, and it's called Pumpkins for Sale. I haven't chosen the fabric for it. It's DMC, and then the people that are on it are going to be a couple of color. So I'm going to change the skin tone. Let me tell you something. My mother-in-law made hitting chili, and now that I'm sitting here going through this, I can't wait to get done so I can go get some more. So the next one is called Autumn Leaves, and this is a haul because I haven't started, and it's by Lucy Beam Love and Stitches, and I believe, and it's called, Leaves Fall. And I got this, I fell in love with this one from watching the Country Cabin Stitchers, Liz and Deb. I know that there's a mother and daughter team also, something Cabin Stitches, so I don't want to get the two confused. So Liz and Deb, and that's this one. And I did get the called for threads for that one. And again, that's another one that I'm going to be stitching on this. You can see, you can't really tell. I'm going to be stitching it over 1 as well. There's no embellishments or anything that goes with it. Next up, this bad boy is going to be so much fun to stitch. And this one is a Shannon Christine design called Wintry Teals. And this one is charted in DMC. And I went and got all the DMC that is needed. I even got the white beads. Oh, because the Winterland also calls for. And so these are the teal colors that she is asking us to, telling us to use. And I'm using them. I love those colors. I just have to find that pretty gray fabric. And I think what I'm going to do is dye some even weave with a really light tint of black, just to give it that gray, you know. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Another couple pieces of haul, and you know who they are. Why? Because I love Little House Needleworks. Love her. And so the first one is called Suffrage Act, which is really important. Women were able to vote, you know, when this came about. And then the next one is called Freedom House. I love Diane. I love Little House Needleworks. That's my favorite designer. Let me see. Okay. So here's some non-stitchy related, but they're not whips or anything haul. So we can get to going. So what I did was I got 2 little 10 needle boxes. And these boxes just kind of hold my little off-brand. Not really, they're brand name, but they're not ones that we would really recommend to anybody. Most of the time when you talk about needles, you talk about John James or Pat's needles. And my favorite needles, though, are the pony needles, the colored eye ones. But unfortunately, in America, they stopped selling them. So the only place that I can get them is on Amazon, and that's from a company from the UK. So it does take a while, but I still order them. But if there's ever a time that I, again, don't want to wait for the mail, I will run right to this with no problem. So this is the one for my size 28 needles. And this is so cute. It has all the buttons and, you know, all of that stuff. And this is for my size 26. And then actually, I'm wrong. So I'm trying to get all of the boxes of the RIT dye, just so I have them on hand and I don't have to keep running back and forth and purchasing them then. So the one that we just talked about, the wintry teals, I can actually use the pearl gray and just still use a little bit of it just to give it a hint of gray, so it's not so powerful to where it drowns out the colors of the teal. And then I just got orange and teal. And that's just basically so I can have them in my stash. I got my favorite even weave for Michaels. I absolutely love Hobby Lobby even weave, and I love Michaels even weave, especially because I love the way it looks when I stitch over one. Another piece of haul that I got was I got a new beading box, because the other beading box that I had was absolutely ridiculous and I hated it. Another piece of haul that I got a journal, and this is going to be particularly for the Year of Whips, and it's going to be tracking. And then the last piece of haul that I think I got that I think you guys will find fun is the fact that your girl has to wear readers. I do. So I got me some really pretty readers from Amazon. They came in a box of 5. And let me show you what they look like. So like for instance, this is the red ones. And this is the, and then you get the cute case with them. So that's what they look like. And they're 1.5, which really works great. And then now let's talk about some of the things that I've been holding off with you guys about. So I decided that I'm going to add a third option to the Year of Whips. And the third option to the Year of Whips is that whatever year it is, that for every single whip that you have, whether it's 5 or 300, you are to put the number of stitches in every single project of the number of that year. So for instance, for me, instead of doing, and I'm not doing option 3 this year unless you want to, that's something I will implement next year, but it's going to be for me. I want to put my hands on every single whip that I own. I don't care if it's something that I really don't like or whatever. I'm going to touch every single whip that I have into 2020. And I'm going to put 20 stitches in the ones that really don't spark my fancy. But the ones that I love, of course, you know, I'm going to put more than that. Now, in honor of my wife, just because she's, you know, just really important to me and just amazing, and I love her so much, that I wanted to do something every year to honor her for me. So for every June 12th, we will put the year that we're in, that number of stitches in that number of projects every single day for 20 days. So like next year, we will take 20 projects. We will use one project a day, so don't get confused. We're not doing 20 projects in one day. We're taking one project each day and putting 20 stitches in it starting on June 12th for 20 days. Then in 2021, June 12th, we will take 21 projects. We will put one project and we will put 21 stitches in them for 21 days, right? And the purpose that I'm doing the whole 20 stitches and this and that is because I don't want to get away from the purpose of the year of whips. And the purpose of the year of whips is to get whips finished. It's not to cause everyone pause and to cause you to faint and all this mess and to get stressed out. But that's the whole purpose. We have Stitch Mania, you know, for 15 starts for 15 days, or I can't remember. We have all of these groups that surround new starts, but we really don't have a lot of groups that surround getting stuff finished. And it's not, you know, I know some people will say, well, that takes the fun out of stitching, you know, stitch when you want, da 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 da. That's great, do you, dude. But I, you know, have just thought about it for my own personal, that I'm not buying all of this so I can look at it unfinished. And that's not throwing shade at anybody else who doesn't feel this way. Let me just say that. But for me personally, that's what I'm doing. I want to get stuff finished. I want to get stuff finished, get the stuff off my bookshelf, and I want to get new stuff done. And I'm not even saying that I'm going to frame any of it. Now that's one thing I'm not doing. I'm not stitching all of this to have my walls filled up with stitching unless it's stuff that I really want to put on the wall. But stitching is simply an enjoyment for me. I don't stitch for other people. I don't stitch for gifts. I don't give stuff away. This is for me. But I'm at that point where I'm tired of looking at unfinished stuff. You can do what you want. I'm just saying for me. And also, for those of us that are in Stitch of Stash, you know, it'll really help us stay committed to not wasting money and, you know, really getting things finished. Again, this third option is really for me this year. It's the next year. It doesn't have anything to do with you guys. We'll start the third option in 2021. So the first option, you know, is do it how you want, when you want. You don't need to check in with me. You don't need to tell me anything. You don't need to do anything. The second option is the one that has the certain and the specific expectations. And the third option is when you are not even setting a limit for a number of whips, because you are going to pick up every single whip that you own and put in 21 stitches in them. And so you have, of course, from January 18th to December 18th. But as of 2020, you don't have to do that. It's optional. You could welcome to do it along, but it's more for me. And that's pretty much it. You know, I really enjoyed spending time with you guys. I look forward to, you know, the year of whips. I look forward to cranking out and getting a lot of things done. However, it is Sunday and it is now 4:41. And I have a lot of stitching to get done tonight. So it was great seeing you guys. And, you know, hopefully I'm trying to make a commitment that as of next year for my birthday that I stay more committed to making Flosstube videos. But listen, you know, with me, everything changes. So that's how I'm feeling right now. But catch me in about 15 minutes and it might be something different. So with that being said, you guys have a great night. And for those of us who work full time, you know, I hope you guys also have a great week. Stay safe. Bye.